Sit back. Sit back. It's the Looney Show. Yeah. You know what up? You know what up?
With something that I'm just like talking about, so I want to talk about it first before any some dumb shit. That's all. Before I say some dumb shit. Either way, I have an issue because I just feel like
Well,
sometimes
speak up.
I feel like
I can't hear you.
Yeah, you can. Shut up. Because you recording it. You were just a very just vindictive, terrible person. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Because you just want to hear this shit, and I'm just like, no, this is. I'm telling you, I need to flesh this out first before.
Well, you know I can't tell no lies, right?
I mean, I get it, okay?
I didn't say anything.
I get it.
I didn't say anything.
I get it. Now listen.
No response.
I have an issue because not with trans people in the respects that I feel like sometimes they can muddy the community as far as just LGB. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can muddy it and make it a little thing because some certain LGBs are also trans attracted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But there's like a lot of self-hating lesbians, gays, and bisexuals. There's a lot of those too.
Yeah.
And sometimes they cling on to those trans people, whether they're trans women or trans men. You know what I'm saying? To that because of the simple fact it aligns with the heterosexuality, with the heterosexual normatives that that they're trying to reach or that they would like in their own lives. Some type of normative, you know what I'm saying, for them that's heterosexual.
Well, I want to be devil's advocate.
Okay.
Not saying like I disagree with you or not.
Mm-hmm.
But what about trans would say like how gay men and how they portraying themselves in the streets, how promiscuous gay men are. Would they say that they are also setting a bad example for the LGBT community? And who are you to say that? Not saying you're gay, I'm just trying to say, for you to criticize me and say that I'm making the community bad?
Well, no, I don't think they're making it bad. What I think is they are making it a little bit. It makes the pool a little bit different because of, as far as just like, I can't really compete with somebody that is trans. You know what I'm saying? I can't compete with somebody that's trans. And it's just like, it seems like a lot of people within the community now, you know what I'm saying, are in somewhat way trans attracted. It's just like, for some reason, there's this, if you're trans, you're also, like, if you're trans, you're also this, that. You know what I'm saying? And you fall within this umbrella of the LGBTQAIA+. I mean, remember when we grew up, that whole moniker has changed. It was LGBT when we were kids. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It was LGBT.
Uh-huh.
And it grew just over time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just, and I'm cool with that. Like I said I'm cool with that because it does acknowledge it does acknowledge it does acknowledge everybody's sexuality, sexualities that we do know that biologically exist. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. And I guess it's just, it becomes, because of all the things that we know, all the information that's been, that has been come out about, about gender, especially with gender studies, just with gender studies in general. I just feel like now we can kind of just take it away from that.
I think it's
that group, because I don't like, at this point, I don't like grouping trans issues with I don't like grouping trans issues with with like lesbian, gay, bisexual, and like and with like those. I don't like grouping those. I don't like grouping. Now I don't.
And let me go ahead and basically kind of
Now,
explain what he's saying. Yeah, back then we had to group everybody for everybody to kind of get into the same rights because there wasn't no individuality when it came to the community. But now we do because we have all the LGBTQ BCs and but when we're talking about the LGBT or the LGB community, we're talking about sexual orientation. And it is no longer conducive to group trans into sexual orientation because we know it's gender identity. It has nothing to do with sexual orientation. And I think that's what Looney means, that we can now put them in the required group. And that before, everybody was grouped in a one because it just made sense. So everybody can just get rights. It would have been too confusion to roll all. But now we're in a climate where we do. We have different pronouns. So it's no reason he's saying that we can intelligently make the decision and understand that trans is gender identity and not sexual orientation, and it shouldn't be grouped with the LGB. That's what I believe he's saying. I also believe that as well. I'm just taking it on as far as like a scientific aspect. The reason why is because if we're grouping them with sexual orientation, we're missing the whole reason why an individual is trans, and we're missing giving them the proper care, understanding, treatment, and everything that they deserve. Label them as this is a sexual thing and not something that is like a mental thing that should be handled way differently. And I think that, yeah, we do have to take them out of that group because there's different processes and different ways of handling these individuals because it's a gender identity. It's how they identify themselves. So now you have to speak to the person and understand why they identify themselves as this way. It has nothing to do with sex or sexual orientation and grouping them in there. We are not providing them with the proper resources that we're needing because we're just saying, oh, well, this is a sex thing.
absolutely.
And people demonize sex.
Exactly.
So with demonizing sex, you demonize the treatment of trans, and they're on a whole mental. We have to work on their mind and their body, and and that's different. It's not a sexual
Exactly.
thing, and this is why. And we have to also do this because now our children are growing up and they are having identity issues. And we're just looking at it as a sexual identity crisis, and it's not.
It's not it's like we're talking about.
So now, how y'all would say, like, y'all little boys are growing up to be homosexual, now your boys and girls are growing up to be trans. So we have to understand, and we have to be able to treat that, and that will be a start by separating them. I completely agree with Uni on that aspect.
Yeah, and it's not like because it's not. This is not about othering them.
No.
This is actually about, for me. To be honest with you, I just believe that trans people need more recognition, and we need more accommodations because they are a small group of people within not only within our country, just within our world in general. And the difference is just that this is the most visibility that they've had in all the years. I mean, from modern human history that we know of. You know what I'm saying? They've always been around, but it's just a simple fact of this is the most where we have seen a lot of them in the forefront, and we actually hear who they are, what their stories are, where they come from.
No, it's just because it's now being accepted. You already know they have been in the shadows because of.
They've been in the shadows, you know, and that's just something that it is. And I think for me, it's just I want more visibility because it's like I don't think it's a big deal now. At least from what I know now, I'm not old. I'm definitely not young either. Not as young that young anymore either. But at 38, I feel like I should be able to see on any type of like application that somebody is filling out. Are you male? Are you female? Are you trans female? Are you trans male? Are you are you non-binary?
But see,
and but that's what it is. Because it's just like, if we're gonna sit here, because gender is the issue. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about gender, why is it that it was like, if we know that's what most people in today's climate, genders express those are the gender expressions usually.
But see, my take on it is I don't feel like we should have those questions unless it's for a questionnaire to go to the doctor or something.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But on applications, I don't understand why it matters for it to be a male or a female if we meet the qualifications. Like these.
Oh no, I was talking about like what you were saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Like,
in that respect.
My biggest thing with America is labels. Because with labels, it groups us, and with groups, it's marginalized. And listen, we already know I'm an advocate for everybody. All right, so I'm gonna just say, please leave women's spaces alone. Just leave us alone, y'all. But I, at the end of the day, they do need their own. But once again, white males makes the rules, and they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it unless gay, white, trans.
Just at the end of the day, it's just like these communities, which were historically, by the way, people of color that started these crusades, that started these started these walks, and they were hijacked by by these white people.
One more thing, and I'm sorry, trans men and women. I know y'all don't like the stigma, but y'all gonna have to start to be real and understand that the treatment y'all need, that this is a mental thing, that y'all need to start working on your mind and your body. And by admitting that, it makes it seem like, oh, y'all crazy. But no, y'all have to start getting the help y'all need. Because y'all are lying and y'all are delusional. And y'all not receiving the help that y'all need, and y'all lashing out on everybody, and that's because you don't want to sit there and make it seem like y'all crazy.
It's true. It's true. And you know what? I blame.
But we need to be real.
I blame, for that issue. Exactly. I blame certain states, like now where we live. For example.
Yeah.
Our state actually doesn't require. You can actually, here in our state, which I don't like.
Yeah.
Is that somebody can go ahead. I could go to a doctor right now and tell them that I want to be trans, and I can get put on hormones next week.
Yeah, see, it used to be where you had to go through a whole therapy
Now the place where I lived before,
thing.
Massachusetts, for example, you have to go through a mental thing and mental therapy and everything else in order to sit there and able to go through this.
Well, but now in our state, it has to do with if they're kind of like a underage teenager, if they got to go through the process. But
No, they all do. I know in Massachusetts.
No, I'm talking about here.
No, here they don't.
No, I'm saying if they are a teenager trying to transition, that's when they have to go through the process. As an adult, no, they get put on right away. The process has changed. But understand, who made this change? Who fought for this change?
Whoever.
Trans individuals. So they fought for this change.
Yeah, but
so
you know what? If they fought for the change, why is it just in our state specifically
to be able to do that without anybody making them go? They fought for this change.
Yeah, I just wonder because in other states they have that provision that where you have to go through it in order. If they don't sign off mentally that you're fit to do this, you're not gonna get the treatment.
Well, they voted for it. They got it.
That's here in our state, I think it's crazy.
And I think like other states too, especially in the tri-state area.
Yeah.
Up north.
Yeah.
But they voted for it. They got it. But this is what they voted for. So that's why I'm saying that they need to start to take accountability that y'all went ahead and dismissed this. But y'all do need to have therapy or continue with.
Here in our state, definitely. In our state, definitely.
All states.
No, they do. I'm just saying they do.
Yeah.
In other states, they do. In other states, they do. Here where we live, they don't. And like now, because I told you I lived in Massachusetts for about 8 years. They have like with the trans people, they can't even start doing hormones or whatever the case may be unless they go through a certain mental.
I got a question. Who pays for the hormones?
Huh? Who pays who pays for the hormones? Yeah. I think
treatment.
I was like whatever insurance they have, or like I was just like depending upon like their income and whatever the case may be. Massachusetts does have very good options for health for health. Mm. So it's just like they do have options for people. They have very good health care in the state of Massachusetts. So I think they could. So it's just like taxpayers aren't footing the bill for. You know what I'm saying? For people to have for trans care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And most of the people, it's just like, if we're talking about like people who are receiving trans care, we're talking about a very few people that are in our community that are going for this type of care, let alone low income. And the thing about it is, most people who are low income that are getting who are doing trans care. Who are getting trans care or doing that, who are doing sexual reassignment surgery.
Yeah,
they're usually in prisons because prisons cover that.
Yeah, same up over here. Well, at the end of the day, this is what they voted for.
Yeah,
and
here where we are, this is what they voted for.
And this is the outcome of it.
Yeah, it's just It's just different for sure, because when I came here to see the just the trans community here in like where we are, I was shocked because of where I was before, even in Iowa. You know what I'm saying? Still, you know what I'm saying? It was like just very different, just very different. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, what do you mean? Y'all can just, I was like, you can just walk in and just get. I was like, what do you mean? You can just walk in and get, I was like, and get this type, get this type of care. Get this type of transition treatment. What do you mean? This is without. I was like, without that? Oh, you crazy? You know what I'm saying? To me, you're crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because that is a big change to sit there and talk about that.
Oh.